Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul. And this week, I'm going to dive into this kit here and some of the information that I'm learning about this particular car. As I do like Fox body Mustangs, and I like Mustangs in general, really, and so some of the packages really intrigue me, but there isn't a whole lot of information on this particular car, the Cobra. But, I heard about this kit and it's a hard one to find, kind of a rare one, apparently. And so, and I wanted the monogram version. There is an MPC version. But as I was looking into it and just trying to find more information about the Cobra package at that time period, that had a lot to do with it. So, reading about the car, now in '79, when they switched to the Fox body Mustang, they had the two cars, basically the two-door and the three-door. So the notchback and the hatchback per se. But they had a couple of trim levels. They had the Gia and then they had the Mustang. But there was no GT. The top performance model was the Cobra, which is how it was with the 74 to 78 cars. They came out with the Cobra in '76. Now, I thought the 76 Cobra looked great. I love the blue stripes. I love the way that one looks. And that's the Cobra that interested me. The 77 and 78 Cobras, don't really like the stripe packages on those as much, but they had a V8 in them. This Cobra, when it came out in '79, again, no GT package. This was the top performance car for '79 in the Mustang. And they did sell 17,000 of them. And then the '79 Mustang pace car came out. There was 10,000 of those. But for what I understand in the timeline, the Cobra came out first, and the '79 Mustang pace car came out after that. There's a reason why I point that out. Now, in my reading, there's a couple things on this right away that stand out. '79 Cobras, from this body line down, is completely blacked out, not just the body line. So from here down, it should be blacked out. Some of these are blacked out, some are not, but I was trying to find more information on that. Not all of them have this Cobra decal on the front, but they all have this forward-facing hood scoop, no front air dam. The TRX performance package was apparently available on these cars, even though this one doesn't have the TRX wheels shown here. Another thing was this grille package back here was painted body color in '79, and these were chrome like they're kind of shown here. At least that piece is. Around the windows I see are pretty much blacked out, but there's the chrome on the rain. And then the rear spoiler is what I'm trying to find out. This model kit is kind of showing the rear spoiler. All the unrestored ones that I'm seeing on the internet do not have the rear wing. The literature from Ford, but when it first came out, does not mention the rear wing. Okay. And when the rear wing is mentioned, it does say '79 pace car exclusive. This does mention the wing here. So the Mustang Fastback got to be one of the most exciting cars at the streets. It's certainly one of the most popular with a 2.3-liter turbocharged engine. It's the way to go. 124 scale molded in red, clear and plated parts. Michelin TRX tires, factory alloy wheels. So it mentions the tires. Rear spoiler, Recaro seats, and Cobra hood scoop. Decal sheet was also colorful Cobra emblem. Can be assembled with or without the sunroof. Hood opens to show turbocharged engine. May be painted to match photos on the box. Now, I do want to understand that Monogram came out with this kit after the pace car kit. So I can understand it having the exact same body and having the molded in rear wing where, from what I'm understanding on this car, should not have the rear wing and it should not have the Recaro seats. The Recaro seats were only pace car also. But those two items are here. But I'm not 100% sure. There's nothing that says Recaro seats came in the Cobra. And there's nothing that says the wing. Now, in the real Ford timeline, being that they came out after the pace car, some people say that this became an option on the Cobra after this. But again, still some unknown truths. And same thing about these seats. But anyway, that's my research into that. Now, I do know the '80 Cobra, that car is literally the '79 Mustang pace car. All the body components, the spoiler, the rear-facing scoop, the seats, the rear spoiler, the whole package is basically the 79 pace car with Cobra decals on it, but the decals are all different. That's the 80 and 81 Cobras. One major difference there. 79, you could get the 5-liter engine in both the Cobra and the pace car. In 80 and 81, the 5-liter was dropped. It was no longer available, only the 4.6-liter. So, but a good chunk of these have the 4-cylinder turbo. So does the 79 pace car. And getting into this kit, this is a mint sealed kit. I bought it off of eBay. Well, kind of traded off of eBay. I ended up selling 2 or 3 kits on eBay that made it easy for me to afford to buy this one. But, you know, it's a sealed kit. I tend to like ones that are advertised open where I can see in them. This one's got a price tag, but I can see through the marker that it says 1939, so I know it's not a price tag from the 80s. It's much later. Still cool, but I like vintage price tags when I see them on sealed kits. But let's open this up and let's see what we actually get. All right. And some of these plastics, I often wonder if it's original or not, because this one isn't very brittle. I kind of doubt it's from 79 and 80, like it possibly been rewrapped. I don't know, but it always makes me skeptical. All right, so here's the clear tree. Yeah, pretty much right off of the pace car, including the fog lights for the pace car. So that's exactly the same there. The TRX tires just floating around up on top of everything. So I'll bag those. The orange and brown Cobra decals. Pretty cool. Now, I do know from just checking into it, Ray's Kits Decals also offers the 79 Cobra decals and also the 80 Cobra decals, which are different, but you can get those for the pace car. I think I'm going to buy those for my extra pace car kit so I can make an 80 Cobra as well. Let's see. We'll look at that in a second. Here's the chrome tree. 4-cylinder turbo parts here. The Mustang wheels, which I'm not a big fan of these. The TRX wheels were an option on this car, but I think I'll probably leave these on it just to keep this car pretty much box stock. Leave the 4-cylinder in it, even though the 5-liter was available in it. And I got some V8s, you know, from some of the other ones. I could actually swap it with the pace car, as that one was a turbo 4-cylinder also. And maybe I'll do that. Put the pace car's V8 in this and put the 4-cylinder from this in that one to make the 80 Cobra 4-cylinder turbo. Who knows? Let's see the instruction sheet, which this should look pretty familiar, just like what the other one did. So yeah, there's the 4-cylinder. Drop it into the chassis, same exhaust. That's the finishing. So jump right into the one side, then into the middle here. This ought to be a real easy build. Pretty much all the same parts, just a couple of noticeable differences here and there. So let's open this bag, see what we're actually getting. All right. Hopefully no damage. Okay. So yeah, very familiar body. Molded in exactly like the pace car. All right. Although this one has the molded shut wing, where my original pace car that I built had the molded shut wing. My more recent kit, these are open and it's cast a little bit thinner. Drop it there. So this kind of tells me that, yeah, I'm not crazy, because most of them I see are molded closed like this. So this one, sealed right out of the box, is molded exactly like my 79 pace car. But whether or not I want to grind this off and make it like the Cobras that I see that are unrestored. Now, when it comes to the wing on the Cobras, there are a bunch of them on there that I've seen, a bunch of cars that are fixed up and when it talks about those cars, virtually all of them I found online, they admit to adding the wing. And I don't blame them, honestly, because if I had the car, I'd add the wing too. But anyway, here's the exhaust with dual tips with single exhaust, which, you know, I'd expect on a 4-cylinder. Here's that Cobra hood. Oh, it's got turbo right there. I'll have to look and see if that's supposed to be there. I know on the 80 cars, I saw the turbo badge back here, but that has the forward-facing scoop, or the rear-facing scoop. The 79 Cobra is the only one with the forward-facing scoop. So, and it probably is right. A lot of them I've seen that had the 4-cylinder. I don't recall seeing turbo on the hood. Or even 5.0 on the fender, even though I've seen some of those with the 5.0 badge on the fender. Same thing added. Look, a distributor with 4 spark plugs. The exhaust. The front fascia, kind of standard. Pretty cool stuff right there. Let's see. There's the interior tub. That doesn't look anything different. Okay. The rear axle, wheel backs. Bunch of loose parts here. Just pull those forward. Okay. The dash, radiator, fan shroud, the chassis, suspension, manual trans, parking brake lever, fan, steering wheel. There's those Recaro bucket seats. I love these bucket seats, even though I don't believe they're correct for the Cobra. Not so sure they're even in the 80 and 81 Cobras. Kind of was an expensive seat, but anyway, love the seat. And then the last few bits here, we got the 4-cylinders air cleaner. Looks like there's the duct with the turbo on it. So there's the turbo, at least half the turbo. A couple more of those. Here's looks like the intake with the other half of the turbo on it. So interesting. But yeah, when it comes to these, I'll end up getting this stuff put away here in a minute. But when it comes to, you know, these cars, never really was all that excited about the 4-cylinder turbo models. There was a lot of hype and push for them. And I can kind of appreciate that now that, you know, just about everything the manufacturers offer now is turbocharged. But in the late 70s, early 80s, there was no electronics. And, you know, we laugh at some of these now, but when you think about what they were trying to do, you know, match the performance, match the emissions, and match, you know, the fuel economy with these smaller motors with the turbocharging, and they were doing a pretty decent job. So, you know, even like these turbo 4-cylinder Mustangs, yeah, when you're comparing the 4-cylinder to the V8, but, you know, I forget what the price difference was. They were charging a little bit for them. But I've come to kind of appreciate them and everything, especially like the 4-cylinder turbo Shelbys, what they were doing and accomplishing and the power they were making with the very limited electronic controls that they had back then. Those things can do amazing things now with the computer management systems that are available now. Of course, you know, here we are with cars with 2-liter and 1.5-liter turbocharged motors making a couple hundred horsepower, sometimes as much as 300 horsepower in an SUV. There's motors that I don't think are going to get 100,000 miles out of. But they're there, they're getting the fuel economy, they're getting the emissions, but that's just it. I don't think they're going to last 100,000 miles. A lot of these aren't around the 4-cylinder turbo ones because, you know, they would blow up and they were expensive to fix. So a lot of them would get V8 swapped. And parts availability may be an issue too. I really don't know. I don't own any of these, so I've never really messed with any of them. But I can see why they all got V8 swapped. But anyways, it's kind of fun to show you this kit. Look into it. I do look forward to building it and leaving this one stock and turning my other 79 pace car into an 80 Cobra. So the Cobra was around till 81, and 82 it was replaced by the GT. So that's the story of the Cobra, and it disappeared for a while. So there's not much talked about or information about these Cobras. I don't know why, and finding information on them is kind of like a moot point. But, Fox bodies are becoming more and more collectible. The model kits I always thought were really cool, but I didn't get into the older ones much. But I like them, so that's why I've been kind of buying them and looking into them, which is what I'm doing with you guys now. So if you guys are really into these, let me know some of the things that are correct or on the Cobra or whatnot. I'd really be interested. I like to know this stuff. So you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really do appreciate you guys. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.